Hey everybody, my name is Sarah Harnish. I'm a Young Living Diamond, and I'm the author of Unstuck, How to Talk to Humans and Get Them to Respond to You. And this is day 14 of Unstuck Boot Camp, and you are a trooper if you've made it this far in the boot camp. I don't care if it took you a year to get to this video. I am just super stoked that you're hanging out with me and that you're committing time to be able to grow your business and learn some new skills. So great job. You're getting the hoodie Sarah tonight as I'm just coming off of a day of homeschooling and cleaning and all crazy things of 5 children and 2 grandkids. And that's the neat thing about being a diamond is that you can still have your life and still do all the things that you do and have all the crazy going on and still manage your business, because this business does not own you, which I love. I love that business model. I always like to start off with like a quote or something to really encourage you. There was a really neat post today that just really meant a lot to me. One of my sweet Royal Crown Diamond friends, Jessica Laney Petty, probably the most gentle-spirited, genuinely kind, and just kindest diamonds of all of us. One of her leaders put a post up and she responded to it tonight, and it just really meant a lot to me. So I thought that I would open tonight just by sharing with you. Her name is Suzanne Spalding. So thank you, Suzanne, for your sweet words. She said, Jessica, I'm finally so motivated after reading Sarah's Unstuck. I have a meeting tomorrow with Elisa, another meeting this weekend with Nina, and more exciting, I will be booking a flight to Phoenix, departing Tuesday, March 3rd, and coming back to Dallas on Friday, March 6th. Amy, who owns Bliss Floral and performs 400 weddings a year, and her sister Priscilla is an attorney. Plus, what Amy describes at the Gypsy Group said that I could have 50 people at my class. I'm going to use Sarah Harnish's PowerPoint, but will elaborate on my own. My years of procrastination are at an end. Thank you for always being supportive and believing in me when I had nothing to show. 2020 is going to be a great year. Diamond, here we come. And oh man, guys, that's exactly what you need to be doing to rank up. You got to be out there teaching classes. You need to be teaching a class this week and teaching a class next week and teaching a class on Saturday and teaching a class on Monday. Like, that's how you do this thing. And I know I've articulated it the last 13 days, but if I haven't said it strongly enough, I'll say it again tonight. You've got to share classes. And if your passion is Savvy Minerals, you get out there and share that. If your passion is CBD, this is my reading list for this weekend. Ugh. If your passion is CBD, right, then you get out there and you talk about CBD. If your passion, everybody's passion is oils, right? Then you get out there and you share oils. And if your passion is thieves and chemical-free cleaning, then you get out there and you go share thieves to the best of your ability with all of your heart and your passion, your stories. If your passion is supplements and Ningxia, then you get out there and you share. And every single time you get out there and you share, that's another cornerstone you just laid in your business, and more faces that you've seen, more relationships that you have built, and you have just made huge headway into growing your organization. That's how you do this thing. Whether you are a platinum pushing for diamond, or a star pushing for senior star, or a distributor who's been a distributor for 3 years, it doesn't matter how long you've held the rank that you have. You know the one skill that you need to do to get to the next rank and to push past that rank all the way to diamond, crown, and royal, and that is you got to be sharing. And we're going to be spending some time tonight talking about leaders, but I'm going to tell you, you find your leaders in those classes. That's how you build your organization. That's how you find people that will duplicate, is through those classes. So get out there and share your passion, and then we get to step back and watch the harvest come in, because that's where that action goes. It leads to a harvest. All right, our oil of the night tonight is release oil, because we're going to be talking about leaders. And I know that in your head you want to micromanage those leaders a little bit, and that's a bad idea. That never, ever goes well. So I'm going to train you tonight how I train my team. What I do when I sit down for a coaching session with my leaders, doesn't matter whether they're a platinum or a star that I just signed to my organization. When I sit down and I'm doing training with them, this is the training that I use. And I actually went through and redesigned it all, because I had it all in my head, and we just kind of chicken scratch it out on paper. And I said, it'd be kind of nice to have a worksheet just to fill out and keep in a binder so I can track their journeys as leaders. And so our graphic design team, which they are phenomenal, they did all the work for Fearless and the Fearless calendars, and designed the cover of Unstuck, which I love this book. You know why we made the cover this way? Because you are worthy of the crown, right? Gold is a color of royalty, and you're set apart, right? Christ says you're set apart. And so you see all the other pawns in the background that are just white pawns on the board. You have set apart for a place of royalty and anointed. And so that was why we picked the cover that we did. I just love the message behind the chess pieces, because network marketing is strategy. You do have to invest some time in planning out what you're doing and being strategic with your time and being strategic with your leaders. And so that's why we go with the chess piece theme, even though I can't play chess to save my life. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm a terrible chess player. My teenagers are way better at chess, and they slaughter me every time I play against them. So Young Living says that release oil is a blend with a relaxing aroma that facilitates the ability to let go of anger and frustration. I mean, who doesn't need that? Hello. You're having a bad day and you're just irritated at everybody around you, and you're frustrated at the pace that everything is going, and you're just, this is a really good oil, because sometimes it's not about the people around you, it's about It's about you. This also promotes harmony and balance when it's diffused. This is a really, really good oil to kind of clear the room when there's been a good argument going on in your house. I like this one. I also like hyssop. If there's negative energy in the room, just this, tension in the room. Those two are my favorite oils when my family doesn't really know what's going on. I just kind of slip those in the diffuser after it's been a little heated in the room. And shoo, guys, we've got 7 members of our family, 8 now with my son's beautiful bride, Bree, and then 2 grandkids. That's a whole lot of people, a whole lot of people in a small space. And so nerves can get frazzled, and those are really good oils to have on hand. All the time, people are telling me, I can't find leaders. My leaders stop teaching. I can't motivate my leaders. My leaders don't have the same goals I do. I'm frustrated with my leaders. I'm frustrated with myself. Well, the first thing I'd say is read Unstuck. Okay, Unstuck's going to get you back to the basics of just sharing oils, getting an audience. That book will train you how to get an audience. So get those people in front of you and how to connect with that audience. And then many of you are saying, I'm just frustrated with myself. I'm just irritated with myself. Well, then we go back to the basics, which is sharing. Right, all comes down to sharing. And then usually I'll hear, I know how to share. Like, I have a script, I know what to do. I just can't seem to get in front of people, or I get in front of people and it just doesn't lead to a kit sale. Well, then you fall back on all of your training. You fall back on your training on how to listen. You fall back on your training on how to meet needs, right? How to be the solution finder. You go back on your training on leading sentences to open conversations, how to talk to your cold market. You go back on to all of that training and fall back on it, and that's how you build your organization. So, but I will tell you, if you're really frustrated with everybody about you, then this is a great oil to use, this release. There's a wonderful website. It's a lot of websites that I love to pull things from, but there's one that's she just does an amazing job. I would add this to your little oils arsenal. It's experiencingessentialoils.com, and I just love the stuff that she puts up here is just phenomenal. And her write-up on release was just brilliant. As an aromatherapist, I was quite impressed with it and the order of operations that she does things. So let me just tell you what she said about release oil. So experiencingessentialoils.com is the website. She said, quote, I often combine this oil with other single oils or blends to facilitate release. So this is going to release it, out of the liver, but then there's other oils that will kind of act as that carrier to just sort of draw it out of the body. So for instance, I may first use inner child or Sarah to bring up an emotion. To have you remember, how you felt during that traumatic time in your life. So inner child or Sarah is the first oil she uses. Then I'll continue with clarity so that the reasons behind the work that we're doing are clear. And you can substitute clarity for any brain oil. So peppermint, rosemary, cedarwood, brain power, frankincense, any of those really, really, really good brain oils. But she particularly likes to use clarity. So she'll start with inner Sarah or inner child of Sarah, then go to clarity, so that you understand why you're doing it. And last, she'll follow up with release. And that assists in just cleansing the memories. Release will do its job regardless, but I find that I like to combine the oils for clarity with any kind of emotional release work that I'm doing. How do you do emotional release work? Do it like a raindrop and use those oils. So drop those oils on the spine and then use the feathering technique to get it deep into the spinal tissue. I love the blend in this oil. It's just phenomenal. Blue tansy, ylang-ylang, geranium, sandalwood. It's Royal Hawaiian sandalwood, lavender. It's just an amazing blend. You look at that ylang-ylang and that Royal Hawaiian sandalwood and blue tansy. It's just this rich, elegant blend of oils. So very, very, very powerful mix and really good at letting things go. All right, letting things go. I just love that description of how to use the oil. So tonight we're going to cover 2 chapters. And the reason we're going a little bit light is because I want to take some time and do a teacher training with you. So I'm going to train you as if you're sitting in front of me. And then I'm going to give you all of the resources to be able to do it for free with your own leaders. So we're going to do chapter 31, which is class 11, speaking at events. And then chapter 32, which is class 12, teacher training classes, which is why I grabbed this, the appendix on teacher training, kind of worked it in. Yes, she does layer those oils. Nancy says, my enrollees say they don't want to do the business. Is starting to tell them they can pay for their oils if they share. Hope to get a leader one of these days. How do you get leaders? What is going on back there? We got beeping and all sorts of things. My daughter's like, what? Whenever she's loud, I put her on the video. Check that out. She's gonna kick my tush. What I would tell you, who is that said that? I mean, Nancy. Nancy, what I would tell you is start with their friend circles. And you sit down and your goal is just to get them their oils for free. So you want to teach the core 5 classes: oils, thieves, Ningxia, savvy, CBD. You teach all those classes to them, to their mom, to their best friend. Try to get 10 to 12 people signed up underneath them on Essential Rewards so they don't pay for their orders. And usually it's not your friend that ends up doing the business. It's one of those people you sign under them that gets excited, because then you go to the next level and you start signing people under them to help them get their order for free. And what I have found is usually one of those people in that hierarchy ends up being your business builders, but they come through your classes. They come through those intro classes where you're teaching. So those are the 2 chapters we're going to cover tonight: speaking at events, teacher training classes, quick little business coaching, and then we're going to wrap up the last 3 types of classes tomorrow, and then get into some really deep heart stuff next week to wrap up all the training for Unstuck. I cannot believe we only have 6 days left. This is crazy. It's so sad. It's moving so quickly. I spent 3 years preparing for this boot camp, and it's going to be over in 6 more trainings. But I'm not going to focus about that. I'm going to get my release oil out. I'm going to sniff that oil. I'm going to let my feelings of frustration and anger go, that I won't get to hang out with you guys every single night. But just know these videos are being collected. They're up on my website, and you're going to be able to watch them forever and ever and ever. You don't have to dig through Facebook to try to find them. So if you're following along, and you have the full book off of Amazon, we're on page 227. It is chapter 31, class 11, speaking at events. So there's a lot of opportunities to speak around you. I'm always blown away at how many places there are to be able to speak. Look at your local Chamber of Commerce and see what festivals are happening near you that might have tents for speakers. Look for county fairs, state fairs, farmers markets with special event days for speakers. I've been asked to speak at so many farmers markets. Look for men's or women's conferences in the area that might be on natural health or just healthy living or wellness. Local gyms, the Y, they host wellness fairs several times a year. You can usually get in there. They're almost always looking for speakers. Large companies host health fairs for their employees. You can see what churches are putting seminars are in your area. Many host events for women or families. At the very least, you can host one of the Young Living events. One of the events they're doing twice a year in your own town, and use it to attract people that might not have come to your home. So what would this event look like if you were going in and doing speaking? Well, I would definitely prep ahead of time. Make sure that you've got enough purple bags on hand. You could, at a vendor event, make up a giveaway basket that they have to leave their contact information to try to win. We talked about that earlier with some of the other types of classes. We're going going to go into some more depth on it tomorrow when we do vendor events. On that contact card, you ask them if they're interested in attending a class or even hosting a class, or if they're looking for extra income as a business. Have that table near the stage. You don't want to be in a room outside of the room that you're speaking in, because people might not be able to find you again. So if at all possible, try to have your table in the room and direct them to that table before you're done speaking. When they invite you to speak, you just engage the crowd. And if it's some type of a wellness fair, it'd be just fine to teach the core 5 starter kit classes, but I probably would go with the 101, since oils is what we do. Whenever I have the chance, I always try to lead with oils first, because that's kind of what we're known for. We got 600 oil-infused products, even our CBD, infused with oil, right? Ningxia, infused with oil. Savvy, infused with oil. So it's what we do. It's our foundational product, and it's going to lead to hundreds of other products in the Young Living lineup. Sometimes they'll allow a speaker to close, but they won't allow you to talk about kit sales. So if that's the case, then you do your entire bold close, and you end with, if you'd like a second aromatherapy class for free, come see me at the table. I'm going to send you home with it today. And then as soon as you're done, you go back to your table and you hand out purple bags like a banshee with whatever class you didn't teach. So if you taught the 101, you give them the 102. If you taught the 103, you give them the 101, right? You put those CDs in your bags and vice versa, and use those bags as an opportunity to get their contact information with those contact me cards. Seek out a Facebook or Instagram contact, phone number, any of those possibilities. The secret to this kind of event is leads, or walking away with names that you call afterwards. Also, you can have flip kits at the table, just like vendor events, where they can walk out with a kit right there if you have a laptop set up. The one thing I want to tell you, and we're going to train even more on this in the last week here of boot camp, is you've got to have eyes to see the people around you. So some of my best contacts at these kinds of events were not from people I was speaking to. It was from other vendors in the hall, or it came from other speakers that were speaking as we were standing backstage, or it came from the tech teams that were doing our lights and sound. I signed once at the Diamond Gala, I signed one of the women that was part of the catering company because she was looking for a better job. So always have an eye for the people around you and constantly be scanning the room for needs. If you're in a place with people, then you have a window of opportunity to build your team, because there's humans there, right? And humans equals your next rank. So they're not going to come looking for you. You got to go find opportunity. If you're paying attention, God is always going to open a window to a conversation. Always, always, always. But it's up to us to have the conversation. If your head is down in the sand and you're afraid to speak, it's going to be really hard for you to build a business in network marketing. We're in the business of helping people. And so if there's people around you, there's a market for what you have to offer. Go share. The issue is not a lack of people, it's that we've already crossed them off the list before we've ever even begun. Our lists of what we can and can't do and who will and will not grasp oils cripples our business. It's our own self-doubt and our own fear that keeps this business from us, not anything else. Do these events usually have fees? Usually if I'm speaking, not so much. Or the speaking compensation might even cover my vendor table. Sometimes they will charge the vendors, but it's usually a nominal fee. So pro to this event, you can reach a totally different crowd. Here, a totally different crowd. If your warm market's dried up and you're super discouraged, try to look for speaking opportunities. You guys have 5 classes that you can teach on aromatherapy, right? You're oils experts because you use them in your own home and you love them. So that makes you the expert, right? The downside, they don't have any idea who you are. So follow-up is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Remember the high when you read the sentence, I don't have to pick oilers up off the street. Well, you're basically doing that. You're pretty much picking oilers up off the street. So stick with it. These guys have an interest in natural health, and that's working in your favor. All right, in your favor. Okay, class number 12, teacher training classes. And I'm going to give you the overview of this super fast, because then we're going to jump into the actual training, and I'm going to train you as if you're sitting right in front of me. Like, we're going to have this one-on-one intimate time where I'm going to coach you myself. Because I love this. I mean, honestly, man, if I could skip the 101s and the 102s and 103s and 104s and 105s and just do teacher trainings all day long, I don't ever get tired of teacher trainings. Like, I just love it. I could spend all day with a business builder, somebody who's willing to roll up their sleeves and do hard things. I love that spirit, and I love that spunk. So here's the thing. You got to teach classes to find your builders. Have to. So if the average silver is a team of 100 and 92% is made up of product users, then only 8% are going to be business builders. And the average silver then only has 7 or 8 builders on a team of 100. And most of them are likely stars or senior stars. So they don't even have their businesses fully off the ground with all their business builders. And they're in the top 1% of the company. So don't beat yourself up on the number of builders that you have. Stop sizing yourself up against everybody else out there. Just get out there and keep teaching classes, because you don't have to hunt for your leaders. You're never going to need to hunt for them. They will find you because they need hope. So it's really easy to look over our shoulder and think that we've got it really bad and that nobody understands. And if we could just find that one person, ooh, Tammy Ireland's on today. I love you, Tammy. If we could just find that one person, that one rock star, then this business would completely take off for us. But the reality is you don't have to roll up your sleeves once. You got to roll up your sleeves 6 times, because you got 6 different legs that you have to build. And after you get your 4th leg off the ground, you got to go start all over again and build your 5th one. And after you get the 5th leg off the ground, you got to go do it again for the 6th one. I'm in the middle of that with my crown diamond. I could go teach on my leg number 1. I could go teach under Tammy Ireland, who just got on. She's one of my platinums, my beautiful platinums on the Oilability team. She's got a massive team, and we could easily fill 100 or 200 people in a room, no problem at all. I've been out her way many times in Eldred, Pennsylvania, and we've had packed out classes. But you know what classes I'm teaching right now? I'm driving 1,500 miles round trip to Chicago to sit in a class with 2 to 5 people, and starting from the ground up as a diamond in Young Living to work on building that 6th leg to get us to crown. And that 6th leg is consistently between 12 and 16,000 every single month, and once we get over 20, we've got our crown ships. So, you got to keep rolling up your sleeves and doing the work again and again and again. It doesn't matter if I can draw a crowd of 4,000 to speak on Unstuck. I'm sitting in front of 2 people to build that 6th leg, right? So you got to be willing to get down and do the hard work to be able to build your organization. Don't think, just because they're a diamond, they're going to always have 50 people in a room. No, we still have to meet needs. We got to find new people, find new faces, keep talking to humans, keep talking to strangers, keep looking in all the crazy places, right? Yeah, Denise, it is a long drive, but that's where I was born. So I know a lot of people there. And what have I trained you guys on? Go where you know people, right? Go where your people are. My people are in Chicago. I haven't even started tapping into my warm market yet. So that's why I go to Chicago, because that's where I grew up. I lived there for 30 years. And so you got to just keep building and building and building. That issue you have of finding business builders, even diamonds struggle with finding leaders on their legs with the lowest volume. So instead of looking around, start digging out. And Tracy's like, I'm in Chicago. I love you, Tracy. Instead of waiting for the rock star, be the rock star. Be that person. So what does that look like? Well, there's 2 tools that I use pretty consistently when I'm looking for business builders. There was a careerbuilder.com survey that came out a couple years ago. It was just phenomenal. I referenced it in Game Plan. I'm going to reference it again here. 1 in 6 people are looking for a new job in the next 12 months. 1 in 6 people. That's crazy. So if I'm teaching 4 to 6 classes every single month, I got a pretty good shot of stumbling across those 1 in 6, right? In fact, I'd have to put in effort to not find business builders if that many people are actively frustrated with where they are and they're looking for a way out. So how do I find business builders? This is going to seem overly simple all over again, but I'm just going to say it out loud. I teach classes. I teach 101 classes over and over and over and over and over again. I don't lead with the business because on a team of 10,000, I've only had 3 people come to me saying, I want to get into Young Living so I can build a business. I think you need a healthy love of the products before you can share them and generate a viable business. You got to have your stories. So if you're leading with your business, instead of leading with others, your future team members, then it's the opposite of the mission of Young Living. The mission is to serve the people around us. The mission is to love them deeper so we can stand above our fear and talk to total strangers and meet their needs and meet them where they are without judgment. So of those 3 that came to me asking for the business 5 years later, none of those 3 are higher than executive rank. I'm just saying, that's just my own team. Those are my own stats of my own team. I think it's because that initial passion was missing for the products. They came in just for the money, right? If you come into this hunting for a paycheck, you can find it if you fight, for sure. You can absolutely find it. But if you come into it looking to take care of families and trying to train yuck out of their homes and trying to protect people, that's a different mission. That hits you on a spiritual level. And anything that hits that deep is going to stick. It's going to stay with you. So how do I find business builders? Well, first off, I do my 101 classes faithfully, 4 to 6 classes a month. Even right now, even as an almost crown, every single month, 4 to 6 classes a month, faithfully, over and over and over and over. And at the end of the class, I say a single sentence. I say one sentence. It's the same sentence that I've used over and over and over again. And it goes something like this. If you want to learn how to get your oils for free, stick around after the class and we're going to do a 30-minute teacher training. And if you have time constraints and you're limited and you're getting out and short on time, this is my backup. If you want to learn how to get your oils for free, there's a book in your purple bag called Your Game Plan, Build a Life Beyond Survival Mode. It is a lunchtime read. It is a short little book. Check it out. And when I pass this form around, that's the contact me card, check the box that says you're checking that book out, and I will touch base with you within 2 days. Right? That's it. I tell them to go read the mini. I funnel them to a tool. What did I just do? I funneled to a tool. Tools speak to that silent place when your leader is alone, to those places that hurt in their heart. Tools offer hope. So give them a tool. Give them the Game Plan Mini, and then check in a couple days and see if you can get them plugged into a teacher training. That little book has the income disclosure guide in it, and it is so powerful. So what about a 30-minute teacher training? What does that look like? So I chase all of my classes, my core 5 classes, with a teacher training. Whenever I'm doing it, I say, hey, just stick around and I'll tell you how to get your oils for free. And so this is what my teacher training looks like. It follows a really, really simple format. I tell them how to teach a class. I show them how to log into the virtual office so that they can place an order and they get their full paycheck if they have a kit sale. I show them the rank qualification buttons in the VO so that they know what they need to do to hit the first couple of ranks. I share a 2-minute compensation plan training with them. It's super fast, just so that they have the basics and understanding of how they get paid. And I share my story. I don't share my oil story. I did that in the class. I share my business story with them because that's what's going to hit them on that spiritual level, right? That message of hope. And if you don't have a business story, then just share one with your, from your team. It might be a mama that's cut their hours back and they were able to increase their grocery budget. It might be something crazy like early retirement, or it might just be hope, the promise that they're moving towards something better. All of those are really good stories to share, and I do that in about 30 minutes, and then I get them out the door with an Ignite book in their hand. That Ignite book is all things business in 2 hours. So I put that Ignite book in their hand and I give them a mission to share. I say everything you need is in that book. The script is in the back of the book. You just ordered your starter kit. Now you just need a human. Go get a human. You got everything that I had when I started, when I built to this crazy diamond income. You have more than I had when I first started. You go do this. All right, you go do this. And you have them start practicing that script and getting ready to share oil. So that's what it looks like when I'm doing my teacher trainings. Now, I'm going to pause and I'm going to train you. Are you guys ready to get trained? And I'm going to show you how to generate the tools, how to get the tools yourself for free. So let me flip my camera around. I purposely didn't even download anything because I want to show you exactly what I do. So if I go to our team website, it's oilabilityteam.com, and go to the share button and you will see Unstuck. Just click on Unstuck. All the way at the bottom of the page, I have all the stuff for the business builder. So if I scroll all the way down, you see all those, that's all boot camp right there, guys. You know you don't have to scroll through Facebook to find these, right? We got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, all the way through day 13. We'll be popping day 14 up in a minute. You guys are the inaugural first graduating class of this initial boot camp. But you know what I pray? I pray that when day 20 happens, you turn around and you go run this with your team. You go make a list of anybody who sold a kit on your team in the last 12 months, and you take them through this boot camp so you can get them to the basics of sharing oils, because that's how we get oils in every home in the world, right? We go back to that message of sharing. Okay, Eileen says, bring it. So if you go to downloadables, we're about to load a whole bunch of content onto the website this weekend. My goal is by Sunday night to have all 4 textable classes up for you guys, the first 4. I'm in the process of writing the CBD class right now. I'm doing really good with it. And then also to get at least the first PowerPoint up for you, the 101 Oils PowerPoint. So right here is the Unstuck 2-page teacher training. So if you click on that, it's going to take you to the training and you can download it right off of my website. So what I do is I just print this little bugger out, Unstuck 2-page teacher training, super simple. So step 1, compensation. Step 2, why do young living business? Step 3, comp plan and breaking the check down. Step 4, rank qualification, how to rank up. Step 5, tour the VO. Step 6, give them some homework. Then you check in. That's it. All right. That is my teacher training. I have done this training in less than 10 minutes. You can print this back to back on one piece of paper, bring it with you to your classes, and when you're done, run them through a quick teacher training. All right, really, really quick teacher training. So this is how I train. I'm going to do an extra roundtable with you guys after boot camp is over. I'm going to train you how I do coaching with the rank mapping sheets and coaching with all of my strategy sessions and everything. We're also putting those on the website as free pages that you can download and do with your team. And that's going to be a bonus roundtable session that we do that we will add to the Unstuck page, so you can learn how to use some of these free resources in the back of the book and how to use the downloadables off of the website. So let's train. All right, let's pretend you just sat through a 101 class. You just ordered your starter kit. That puppy's coming. You want all the oils. You love the oils. You just smelled peppermint for the first time and you're like, "Whoa, this is awesome. I've been tired all day." And I'm like, poop, right, wide awake, right? Wide awake. And so I know I'm going to want to get all the oils. So go ahead and do a teacher training with me. Tell me how you do it. So we are now sitting side by side. It's you and me and 2 other people. We just wrapped up a 101 class, and this is how I do my teacher training. I'm going to rank mapping sheets. Oh, Romero, I can't wait to show you those. I will do that after the 20-day boot camp is over. So watch this page, because I'll pop that up on. We'll do a training on it, but not tonight. So Unstuck 2-page teacher training. First thing I do, remember, it's 6 steps. So step 1, compensation. First thing I do in a teacher training is I share my business story, and then I show them the income disclosure guide. So let me share a little bit of my business story with you guys. I got invited to an oils class in 2014. I thought y'all were crazy. I thought it was snake oil. I'm not going to lie. I really, truly thought oils were nuts. I'd only seen them in really creepy, weird shops down long alleyways with lots of heavy incense burning in the shops and pewter dragons in the windows. And it just kind of creeped me out. I had no desire to do anything with oils. And I had a really good friend who asked me to come to class in January. That was the month, by the way, that I dropped my son off at the school in Missouri. I told her no. Then she asked again in February. She asked again in March. She asked again in April. She asked again in May. And finally, she's super, super pregnant. She's like 15 months pregnant. And she said, if you don't come to my oils class, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to drive you to the oils class myself. And that was actually a life-threatening offer, because when she sat in the front seat, she couldn't turn the steering wheel because she was so huge. It was truly a safety issue. So I said, no, I'll just drive myself. So I got in the car and I drove myself out to the class, and I was 45 minutes late for this little class, and I sat in the back. I talked through the entire class. I was the obnoxious person you do not want in your class. I remember making thieves cleaner when we left. And I walked out. I'm like, I have no desire to buy the kit. Like, I am not jumping on this crazy train. I'm not doing it. And I just kept seeing oils people everywhere, like everywhere. I would go to the playground. You guys are at the playground whipping oils out and dumping them all over your kids. I go to work. People at work are using them at work. I go to the grocery store. There's people in the cheap oil aisle checking all the cheap oils, right? And I'm just like, what is this phenomenon that just, like, I never ever saw it. It's like when you get pregnant and then you see pregnant people everywhere. That's what happened to me with oils. I didn't even get any oils. I went to the oils class, and then all of a sudden there's freaky, crazy oils people all over the place. So I was determined I was not jumping on the crazy train, and I went into work one day. I was anchoring news, and there was a press release that came up from the Mayo Clinic, and it was about essential oils. And I'm like, dang nabbit. Now I'm anchoring news. I've been a news anchor for 23 years. I've done over 60,000 newscasts on 39 stations, including the 3rd largest market in the United States, in Chicago. And never, ever, ever in 23 years have I seen a single story in essential oils, except this one story that came over on my fax machine from the Mayo Clinic. And I grab it. I'm like, I can't even get away from this at work. This is crazy. It's literally like God is dropping rocks on my head every single place that I go. It's like Jonah, and he gets eaten by the big old fish. I'm getting eaten by oils fish everywhere I go. So I finally gave in, and I went home, and I was like, John, just get me this stupid kit. I'm not going to be able to. I don't even think this stuff works, but I just want to order it and play around with it because everybody seems to be using this stuff. And John's like, let me get this straight. You want me to order a $165 kit that you don't believe in and you don't think is going to work just because everybody out there is using oils? I'm like, yes. And he said, honey, we have $20 a week to live on. We have $70,000 in student loans. It is a mortgage payment to pay for our student loans every single month. We have a vehicle payment. We have 5 children that have to eat food. Like, there's no way. We're living on a missions salary right now. It's impossible. We can't afford this. Then I said, yeah, I thought you would say that. So what I want you to do is take my birthday money that you set aside. My birthday's in a couple weeks, right? I went to that class in May. My birthday's in June. I said, just use my birthday money and order it out of that. And John's like, you want me to take all your birthday money and order one gift for you that you don't believe in? I said, yes, that's exactly what I want you to do, because these people are everywhere. I cannot get away from the oils people, and I just want to get the stuff in my hand and play with it just to see if it actually does anything, because they're driving me nuts, And John's like, yeah, no, you don't get to pick out your birthday gifts. I get to pick out your birthday gifts. That's how that works. And I'm like, you're not a nice man. You're not nice. These people are all over the place, and I just want to get them off my back. And so a couple days before my birthday, this big old box shows up on my doorstep, wrapped in tape. And of course, it's the see-through Young Living tape that says Young Living all over it. And that was my starter kit. And I was like, good job, Young Living. Like, I totally know what my birthday gift is now, because you gave it away with your tape. This is actually my porch. This was my 1,300 square foot house. I was living in when Young Living came into my life. That is my starter kit, and that is the box that gave away my birthday gift. Thank you. I got this in the house, and I was terrified. I was afraid. I had no idea what to do with the oils. I realized, oh my word, I just ordered stuff that, I don't know how many drops to use. I don't know if it's safe for my kids. Like, I literally have no idea what I'm doing. So I just left it alone. I didn't even open the box. I was afraid of it. And then 2 days later, I woke up with a mild, occasional Armageddon stomach bug. And my husband says, and your snake oil work for that? I was like, I don't know. And he went and he grabbed some peppermint oil after looking it up on his cell phone. He just looked up Young Living tummy bug and brought me the peppermint oil. And I had my wow moment with oils. I stood there astonished that it actually did something. I was amazed at how quickly my stomach stopped hurting. And I remember looking at that bottle, and I'm just like, what is this stuff? It's a leaf? Like a leaf did that? This is crazy. And so then I did something that's very dangerous. And this is what I have you guys walking through on those contact me cards and the distributor cards, is running through that aromatherapy funnel. The next thing I did was I was given a reference guide when I got my starter kit. And I always recommend that you guys pour into your brand new people by giving them a ref guide and training them how to use it. And I had a reference guide, and in this box, they gave me a catalog. And those two things side by side are quite dangerous, very, very dangerous to your budget. And so I took the reference guide, I took the catalog, and side by side, I looked at them. I looked up every single oil. I looked up all 300 oils, and I wrote next to them what they did. And I wrote next to them which children needed which oils and why they needed them. And then I took that catalog and I dropped it on my husband's desk, and I said, you should take a look at this. Like, you should just peek at this, because, yeah, just when you have a chance. And I hear, no, I knew this was going to happen. Sarah, this is Pandora's box. And when that lid opens, it doesn't close ever again. He's like, you circled every single oil. I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't circle every single oil, John. There's 4 in there. If you go look, they're for geriatrics, and I don't need them yet. So you just go look in that catalog again. And John looked at it, and he's like, okay, all right, you didn't circle 4 things out of 600. He says, Sarah, we're living on a ministry income. We have $20 a week. There's no way we can afford this. And I said, yeah, I thought you might say that. So 1 week we'll eat ramen or potatoes, where I can stretch those really far, and I'll pull out $12 for my ER order, and the next week, like, I can like Forrest Gump this thing. And how he makes like shrimp casserole, shrimp this, shrimp that. I can make potato pancakes and the hash browns, and I can make potato soup, and I can stretch it a whole lot, like long way, because I can do like 2 gallons of water in my soup, and I got all these ideas. And he goes, you want to cut back our food budget to buy essential oils? I said, yeah. I'm like, do you see this stuff? This is a leaf. It's one ingredient. It's a leaf. It was one ingredient. And look what it just did back there. Shoo. If I could start using one ingredient things for everything, hello, right? And John's like, there's no way. Like, Sarah, we don't make enough to order this stuff. He said, the only way you're going to be able to do this is if you teach a class and people sign up underneath you. That's it. It's the only way you're going to be able to do it. And I said, I don't have time to teach a class. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I go anchor news for 8+ hours. I'm fried mentally when I come home. I walk in the door. I homeschool 5 children 7 hours a day. I cook gluten, sugar, dairy-free food. I haul their little butts around all over the state to go to the ballet lessons and the scout meetings and all the sports and all the things. And then I come home and I drop. I get 5 hours of sleep and I go back to work again. Like, how am I going to teach class in the middle of that? And John said, I don't know. But if you want all the oils, you'll find a way. I said, you're not a nice person. I love you, but you're not nice. You're not a nice man. Frankly, you're kind of a jerk. And he said, well, we can't afford the oils, so go figure it out. So I did. I got on Amazon. I ordered 3 huge encyclopedias on essential oils. I read them cover to cover that weekend, and I did what I do in the newsroom. I watched 7 hours of political coverage, and I consolidated into a 30-second newscast. And I pull 1 bite from here, and 1 sentence from here, and 1 piece here, and 1 piece here, 1 piece here. And I wrap it all up. And I deliver it in a way that's very easy on the ear. So I did that for aromatherapy. What did I want to know as a mom sitting on a couch talking to another mom on a couch? Who, what, when, where, why, how? What are oils? Where do they come from? You know, can I use them on my kids? What about safety? What about purity? Why can't I just go to the grocery store? 1 paragraph on each thing. Super tight, super simple. I could read the script top down in 11 minutes. I don't read it at top down in 11 minutes because I share my story, but I can read it in 11 minutes if I have to. And then I told a couple of friends, I sat down on my couch and I read that script to 12 women, and 6 of them ended up getting kits, and all 6 of them ended up on Essential Rewards. And I was like, they believe me. How did that happen? I don't know what I'm talking about. All I know is I put peppermint on my tummy and whoa. Right? That's all I knew. I just had my peppermint story. That was it. And so John looked at me and goes, do it again. Go do it again. I was like, all right. So I went out the next month and I taught 4 classes because I was so super stoked to get that first paycheck in the mail. I got that paycheck in the mail. I'm like, whoa, John Harnish, look at this. And he said, yeah, you're going to pay me back for the starter kit. I said, you're a jerk twice. 2 times you're a jerk. You're not a nice man twice. And so he actually made me pay him back for his starter kit. So I can say that all of my oils, even from my starter kit, were completely free, either from my paychecks or from my Essential Rewards points. I have never in 5.5 years paid for a single bottle of oil that I own or any Young Living product. The second check that I got was enough to pay our mortgage. And John's like, go do it again. Go do it again. I was like, all right. So I taught 4 more classes. I just kept teaching to friends of the people that I'd already signed. And we went from a team of 6 to 27 to 60 that 3rd month. And then I got another check in the mail, and that paid off a credit card we'd had for 20 years. And then John's like, do it again. I was like, all right. So I went out and I taught 4 more classes, just to friends of friends, you know, people that I lived 800 miles from my hometown. We hadn't lived there very long. I didn't know a lot of people, but I knew the 6 people that were on my team. So I just kept teaching to their friends. And the 4th month, we had 120 people on my team and we hit silver. And John looked at me and goes, what are you doing? Are you selling the Fountain of Youth? He said, you just surpassed your full-time income anchoring news. I thought this was like one of those little like Tupperware parties. You know, you make a couple $100 or something. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. You told me if I taught a class, I get my oils for free. So I'm teaching a class, I'm getting my oils for free. Harnish, I'm getting my oils for free. And my commitment was 2 hours a week. And John's like, well, just keep doing it because maybe the Lord's opening up a door for us, you know, that we've never looked at before. And I said, okay, I'm not even paying attention to the paychecks, guys. I don't even know how much I make. It's all direct deposited into the account. My husband does all the budgets. I'm blue. I'm a blue diamond. So I'm not even watching that stuff. All I know is he's giving me $300 a month to get my ER order. And I'm like, woohoo! Yeah! I can get all the oils, all those oils, and all those oils, and all the oils upstairs, and all the oils in the kitchen, and all the oils in the basement. I'm going to get all the oils, right? So that's my story. And my time commitment was 2 hours a week. I would teach 1 class a week. I kept teaching 1 class a week, and then 5 months after I hit silver, we hit gold. And then I kept teaching 1 class a week, 2 hours, right? 2 hour commitment. And 8 months after that, we hit platinum. And John's like, what are you doing? Seriously, like, what are you telling these people? I'm like, I don't know. I tell them it's got 1 ingredient And I love peppermint. That's what I tell them, right? And they should use peppermint too. And here's my peppermint story. And you're like, and my husband's like, okay, Sarah, you're making 4 times your income. Are you going to stop doing radio? I'm like, I'm not going to sell oils. Are you kidding me? Be a famous news anchor. Sell Young Living oils. I don't want to sell oils. Shoot, I'm not selling oils. I'm just getting my ER order for free. He's like, okay, you just keep believing that. We're just going to keep depositing the paycheck into the account, and I'll give you $300 for your Essential Rewards order. I'm not even paying attention. I mean, I wasn't even looking at the income disclosure guide. There was no game plan. There was no game plan mini. There was none of that stuff existed. No Ignite. I had no training. The woman that signed me immediately left and went to another MLM right after she signed me. She's an amazing woman, and she's back in Young Living now, and she's a platinum, and I love her to death. And she stayed my very, very good friend through the whole thing, but she wasn't doing the business while I built to diamond. And so I was like, okay, all right, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anybody doing this business. I don't even know that I'm really doing a business. I'm just teaching a class a week so I can get my oils for free. And then I'm sitting there as a platinum, and John's like, maybe you should do this. Or I'm like, I don't want to do this. I want to sell oils. And I'll tell you the rest of the story next week because it's a pretty cool story, and it's what catapulted me to diamond in Young Living, all right? And so that's where this goes when you have that tenacity and that consistency and just get out there and share oil. So let me just show you what the ranks in Young Living make and where this goes when you start training people how to live chemical-free lives. Compensation. If we look at the income disclosure guide, this is what the average monthly income is for people that are in Young Living. Stars, about $21 a month. Senior Star is $129 a month. That's enough to place your ER order for $100, right? So, by the time you're hitting Senior Star rank, the second rank in Young Living, you're already making enough to cover your product. Executive, $319. Now you can place the full, like the whole thing, get all the freebies in Young Living. Silver, $1,321 a month. All right, that's not chump change. That's not pennies in the penny jar anymore. That's like half of a white collar job right there for that 2-hour a week commitment. Gold makes $3,937 a month. That's $4,000 a month. Guys, I don't know about you. I anchored for 23 years, and my highest income ever was $2,200 a month. That was after a $70,000 degree that took me 8.5 years to do while I was nursing babies and working 2 jobs, a full-time job and a part-time job. And my husband was working 2 full-time jobs, and we were living in the projects. That degree that I worked my butt off to get paid half of what a gold income pays. I don't know about you, but it feels kind of nice to not have to go to school to be a rocket scientist, to be able to share with people and tell them how to live a chemical-free life, right? It feels pretty amazing. So gold, $3,937 a month. Platinum, $9,829 a month. Diamond, what? All right, I'm just going to zoom in. $26,155 a month. That's what a diamond makes that's not a year. My first year that my husband and I were married, with 4 jobs, we made $6,000 in the whole year. The whole year together. And I get it. That's poverty. Like, we were working our butts off, making $4 an hour, but still, $26,000 a month. That's 4 times my yearly salary the first year that we were married as a diamond. Guys. Crown diamond, $49,292 a month, and royals are averaging $128,210 a month. You can view the entire Young Living income disclosure guide by going to that link, or you can just type in Google 2018 Young Living income disclosure statement, and you can look at all this up close and personal. All right, come on. All right, I don't know anything else like that. I don't know freedom that looks like that anywhere. So if you're not pursuing this, why? Why wouldn't you get out there and fight for that? Because I mean, shoot, man, my white collar job, $2,200 a month. And that was a good job. Anchoring news is a good job. That's an honorable profession, and I wasn't even making half of what a gold makes in Young Living. So if you can get out there and connect with people and commit 2 hours of your time every single week, not 40, 2 hours of your time, that's crazy. Michelle says, I can't even wrap my brain around that much money a month. I couldn't either as a diamond. But you know what my goal was, Michelle? Every single one of you guys is going to have a different why. You're going to have a different reason for doing this. You're going to have a different reason for fighting. Every single one of you has got a totally different reason. My why? I want to be able to help people. My why since I was a little girl, little girl, was to live on 10% and give 90% of my income away. I wanted to be able to live on $3,000 a month as a diamond and give $27,000 a month away. That was my lifetime goal. I've wanted to do that for over 30 years. This is the first time in my life that I could do it. I couldn't do it living on $2,000 a month. So what am I going to do? Live on $200 a month, $300 a month? The Lord had to increase my income to be able to get to that place where we could give generously, anonymously, behind the scenes, nobody know what we're doing, not letting the left hand know what the right hand is doing. Gosh, guys, if you can't wrap your mind around a diamond income, get out there and earn the diamond income so that you can bless all the people around you. Right? If that's the only reason you do this, to be able to take care of more people, not only do you have the benefit of blessing all those people on your team with your knowledge and wisdom, but also to just slip in quietly and help that single mama that doesn't have grocery money. Take care of the person behind you in line and just cover their bill, or the person, right in front of you. Drop $100 bill inside a slightly open window of a car. Fill up somebody's gas tank. Donate to World Vision. Donate to Compassion Ministries. Donate to Potter's Hands. Donate to whatever the Lord puts in front of you. But gosh, just that alone. Could you imagine an entire lifestyle where what you do is give? Truly. What kind of life is that? And then in the middle of it, Young Living is saying, oh, Diamond, go get on an airplane because we're going to take you to Greece this year. And you're sitting there Christmas. Oh, Diamond, $500 worth of Christmas presents show up at your front door from Young Living because they just so appreciate the work that you're doing. And I'm just stepping back going, what kind of life is this? I don't deserve any of this. I deserve to be back in the projects. That's where I lived for 12 years. I've only been a diamond for 2 years. I wake up some days and I'm like, is this even real? Is this life that I live? This crazy, amazing diamond life that I live, this crazy house that we live in that we're not even fully unpacked yet, the crazy catwalk and crazy 5,000 square feet, this crazy waterfall staircase that I prayed for 30 years, right? This crazy, amazing kitchen that we use every single inch of, and all these crazy things. Is this even my life? How could this even possibly be my life, that the Lord would bring us to this place after being in the projects forever, that he would love us so much that we could live in a place where we would have this and still be able to give 90%. I just step back and I'm like, God, you are a good God. You're a good God. And if you give us the desires of our hearts when we sit down and we're doing things for the right reasons, and we're loving on people, and we're meeting them where we are, and we're standing on top of fear, and we're like, no, Satan, you don't have any hold on my life, and you don't own me, and you're not going to get any piece of this. This is all going for the glory of the Lord, right? So I don't know what your why is. I don't know why you fight. Maybe it's to take care of aging parents. Maybe it's to make sure that your kids are going to be okay if something happens to you, to have that peace of mind on your pillow that every night you go to sleep, if something happens to you, your kids are taken care of forever, with the income disclosure guide. Maybe it's to take care, of friends that you have around you. Maybe it's to give generously. Maybe it's to go into missions. I don't know what the Lord has laid on your heart, but I do know that where you are now is not going to get you there. It's not going to get you there. So are you going to stay there, or are you going to move? Do you stay there, or do you move? I'm the one that started in the projects, guys. That's my life. I know that better than I know anything else. I know what it's like to wake up hungry. I know what it's like to wake up with my power shut off. I know what it's like to go to bed with my jacket on and my kids huddled around me because we're cold. I know what it's like to not have any food for a couple of days. I know what it's like to take the last little bit of food in our house and give it to our kids. I know what it's like to get my paycheck and look at it and wonder, should I put my paycheck in my gas tank so that I can get to work, or should I take my paycheck and get enough food, because I know we don't have enough food in the house to keep the kids okay until my next paycheck comes in. I know what it's like to stand outside of food pantry lines for 2 and 3 hours in 30 degrees with 5 children in tote, including little baby infants that are nursing. I know what it's like to wait in the line and get to the front of the line and find out that if I'd gotten there an hour sooner that we would have had food, but they ran out. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to come home from work and go into my house and see cockroaches on the floor, and then to lay my babies down on their mattresses on the floor because we don't have a bed for them, and know that there's cockroaches walking on the floor at night with my babies laying on the floor. I know what that feels like too. And there are a lot of you guys that are way poorer than John and I have ever been. You're way poorer, and your stories are way worse than the stories that John and I have walked. But I don't know any other way out of that than this. I don't know any other way out. And so I'm going to spend the rest of my life writing books, and the rest of my life doing boot camps, and the rest of my life praying over you, and the rest of my life sharing my story with you, because maybe somebody out there will hear it and they will move and they will fight until they get all the way to diamond. Maybe one of you guys will listen to this and say, you know what? I'm not going to let fear own me anymore, because I've let fear own me my entire life. And it doesn't get me freedom, right? It doesn't get me freedom. So maybe it's time to move. Maybe this is the year that you don't stop teaching. Maybe this is the year that you reach down and you take the gifts and talents that the Lord has given you, and you stick your hand down and you grab somebody out of the miry muck and you give them hope. Maybe this is the year you go teach a class in the projects and talk to all those women that don't have anything and say, hey, you don't have to stay where you are, right? Maybe this is the year that you go fight for your sister-in-law or your sister. Maybe this is the year you go fight for your adult children. Maybe this is the year that you speak up, because you know so much. And the knowledge you have is valuable. And it's going to save people. It's going to save families, not just financially, but with their health. Yeah, perfect love casts out fear. But it doesn't if you just stay in your house. It doesn't if you don't speak to the people on the outside of that door. It doesn't go anywhere if you don't teach. Teaching is the foundation of everything. You're either going to let fear own you, or you're going to wrap up this boot camp next week and you're going to go out and you're going to kick some butt. And you will never, ever, ever sit silent ever again. You're never going to go 30 days without teaching. You're never going to go 30 days without oiling somebody up. You're never going to walk in a store and ignore the coughing around you and ignore the people in pain. You're never, ever, 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 ever again going to be afraid to talk to a stranger. Never again going to be afraid to pick up a phone and do follow-up. Never again will you let fear own you. Never. Never. Because I could still be sleeping in the projects. I could still be seeing the breath at night with my power shut off. If I hadn't opened that box and played with the peppermint and stood on top of fear. That's where this goes. That's where this goes when you don't quit. But if you're not teaching a class a week, you're not going to grow. You're not. So you know what you need to do. You got the scripts in the back of Game Plan. You got the scripts in the back of Unstuck and Ignite. Get out there and start doing it. Stop making excuses about being too busy or not knowing enough people. Stop listening to all the negativity in your head. Because guess what? You're going to stay right there until you start fighting for this, okay? Do you want to be here or do you want to be here? Because that is freedom. That's freedom. And all I know is that to get to this, I had to teach 288 101 classes. That's when I know. And I know that script works because that's what got me to diamond. And I know it can get you to diamond. Fear is a liar. Let's move on to the second thing. Why do Young Living business? No income ceiling. There's no ceiling. There's no glass ceiling over your head. There's no 5 cent a year raise. There's no white collar $100 a month raise once a year. No 3% income increase. No income ceiling. Guys, 2 years, I hit diamond. That is the diamond salary according to the Young Living Income Disclosure Guide. That's what the diamonds are making. 2 years, 5 months, start to get to diamonds. No income ceiling. I can pass the people that signed me easily. If I get out there and I share oils, you're your own boss, you set your own hours. You dictate what that's going to look like. I have committed 2 hours a week faithfully every week since I started 5.5 years ago. You can commit it or you don't commit it. It's your choice. You can take time off and still get paid, right? That check just keeps coming in because you already built it. You got the snowball rolling down the hill. Oils are easier to share than a pan, clothing, or makeup because they're consumable. You can see the people around you experience financial freedom as they start to teach and they start to see where this goes. And especially when those people around you are your best friends and your family. Oh my gosh, does it feel good to see them rank up. You build time economy. You build freedom. I'm not working 40 hours a week. I'm working a couple. That's awesome. You build relationships with those that love natural health and they're thinking the same way you are thinking. It doesn't matter how many people you know. That's not what it takes to build this. It doesn't matter how big your friend circles are. Stop repeating that to me every single place I go. That is not what it takes to build a network marketing business. It takes talking to people you don't know, talking to friends of friends, standing at vendor events. All right, that's what it takes to build the business. You don't have to be good at speaking or know a lot of people because there are many ways to build and willable income. What you make you pass along even after you're gone. That is a really good reason to do Young Living business. All right, comp plan. How do you get paid? Pretty simple. There's 4 parts to the paycheck. Number 1, starter kit bonuses. You get $50 per kit. 25 is for the starter kit bonus. 25 is for fast start. Number 2, fast start. So after they get that kit, every single thing they order after the kit, you get 25% on every order after the starter kit, but only for 3 months. So it's so important to get them on ER right away. Number 3, unilevel. After 3 months, they're going to slip into the unilevel system, and you get paid 8% on everything that your level 1s order, 5% on everything your level 2s order. Those are people signed 2 people deep in your organization, 4% on your level 3, 4s, and 5s. That's awesome. I get a lot in my paycheck. Almost half of my diamond check is from Unilevel. Rising Star, that's the last thing, or Generation Leadership bonuses. Those are bonuses for strategizing your rank in a certain way, or for raising leaders once you hit the rank of silver. For the purpose of just starting the business, keep your strategy silver or simple. Everybody goes under you as a level 1 until you got 10 people under you on Essential Rewards straight across the board. That's it. So 4 things: starter kit bonus, fast start, Unilevel, and then as you're ranking up, Rising Star, Generation Leadership bonuses. Number 4, rank qualification. So for this, I'll log into the virtual office and I'm going to show them the rank qualification button and basically say these are the ranks in Young Living. You got Star, Senior Star, Executive, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Crowned, and Royal. Those are all the ranks in Young Living, and there's 4 things you have to do to get your paycheck. Number 1, spend 100 PV. Never changes. From distributor all the way to Royal Crown Diamond. 100 PV. Bam. Done. Number 2, it's based on volume. So a star is going to do 500 OGV, organization group volume, in a span of 30 days in the month, right? It resets the beginning of every month. Senior Star is 2,000 every single month, resets back to 0. You get all the way up to Royal Crown Diamond, it's 1.5 million every single month, which sounds crazy, but you know what's going to be crazy is what happens when you teach a class a week. Watch that volume for a while. Third thing you have to do, see, 1, 2, 3, third thing is based on legs. A leg is a person and a team. So once you hit the rank of executive, you need to strategize a little bit. You need 2 legs, 2 people with 2 teams with 1,000 underneath each leg. When you hit silver, 2 teams, 2 people at 4,000 every single month. By gold, you need a third leg, 3 teams, 6,000 a month each. At platinum, 4 legs, 4 teams, 4,000 or 8,000 a month under each of the 4 legs, and it builds from there. And then the last thing is silver. And that's PGV. Once you hit the rank of silver, that's the 4th thing you have to do. You don't need to worry about it for any of these ranks above, before it. But at silver, you have to have 1,000 in volume outside of your legs. Those are the 4 things that you do to rank up. Right now, you just worry about signing 10 people under you and getting them on Essential Rewards. That's it. Number 5, we log in and just do a quick tour of the virtual office. I'm not going to do that for the purpose of Unstuck Bootcamp because I did it in game plan, so you can go back and get a VO tour by clicking on that bootcamp. It'll tell you which of the videos is the VO tour. But I will just show them at the very least how to place an Essential Rewards order, because your order as a business builder has to be 100 PV to get your full paycheck. As a business builder, being on ER is good financial stewardship. So to spend the 100 to get your full check, you're actually spending 90 because of Essential Rewards points. You get to go pick out whatever you like. So go over the reference guide and the Young Living catalog side by side and build an ER wish list. Then number 6, homework. Your homework is to teach your very first class and to read 2 books. Your game plan, Build a Life Beyond Survival Mode, that's the mini, it's a quick read, and the essential game plan, Ignite Your Business in 2 hours before our next coaching session. So I want you to grab the 101 or the 102 script in the back of Ignite, get out there, get your mom on the couch, and go read that script to your mama. Read that script to your best friend. The next time we get together for a coaching session, after you've read those 2 books and done your first class, we're going to cover Fearless, the Fearless 30-day calendar, and the Diamond Rising deck, and I'm going to teach you how to follow up from that first class. You can do this. This is my cell phone number if you have questions. That's it. That's the end of the teacher training. So 6 things that we go over. Compensation, they see the income disclosure guide, you share your business story. Why do Young Living business? Number 2. Number 3, the comp plan. Number 4, what they need to do to rank up. Number 5, quick VO tour and show them how to place an ER order, build their wish list. And number 6, give them some homework and give them 2 little books to get started and prepare to train them on follow-up after they've done their first class. Bada bing, bada boom. We just did that entire training in 17 minutes. including my whole business story. So you can absolutely teach that in 30 minutes or less. And I like to chase my 101 classes with that. If you guys haven't trained your leaders, go back through your organization and print this sheet off and do this training with your leaders. Put the mini in their hands, put Ignite in their hands and get them off the ground and teaching classes again, because that's what's going to build your new members. That's what's going to build your base. That's what's going to duplicate on your team, is the training of your leaders. All right, guys, we have made it through this training. It was pretty legit. I have not gone through rank mapping yet with you, or a strategy session. We'll do that after boot camp, as I covered the appendixes in Unstuck, but that's available right now. You can print that printable off and start training your teams tomorrow with that printable. It's super easy, and it covers all the basics without being really overwhelming. One page front to back, back to back, and it works. All right, it's really powerful training and absolutely works, gives them the basics. Ignite is not on Life Science Publishing yet. I can work with them and see if we can get that up there for them. It is on my website at oilabilityteam.com, or if you just need a couple, you can snag them on Amazon as well. So we just wrapped up Speaking at Events, which was Chapter 31. It was Class 11. And Chapter 32 is Class 12, Teacher Training Classes. And then I trained you how to teach a teacher training class. Tomorrow night, we're going to do the very last of the 15 classes. We're through all 15 classes, which seems like a lot, right? This is all the stuff I've seen that works. In-person class, purple bags, textable classes, DVD teaching, personal loan, informal sharing, online classes, Vimeo, Zoom, YouTube, social media classes, Facebook, Instagram, then interactive classes, Lunch and Learn, Sip and Sniff, Simple Swap, Ditch and Switch, Fearless classes, Speed Oiling, Make and Take, Speaking at Events, Teacher Training classes, and then the last three are classes for business owners. So that's walking into a chiropractic office and teaching for them. How do you make that work? Blogging and vlogging and vendor events. We're going to hit all three of those tomorrow night. And then we're going to wrap up the last 5 days of boot camp next week with some really deep heart training. I mean, really deep. We're going to go deeper than we have the entire boot camp so far. Things that don't work. I'm going to train you on how to open conversations with strangers, how to really do the whole friends of friends thing, how to craft your personal story. If you've never actually had training on how to write your own story, we're going to do ER training like you have never seen it in your life. We're going to just totally blow that out of the water. Closing a class in a way that leads to kit sales. And then lightening your load, some common MLM mistakes, grass is greener on the other side syndrome, spirit of contentment, curse of expectations. And then I'm going to end this entire thing with a really powerful video of what happened with my oldest son after I stood on top of fear, and where Young Living has gone for us. So yeah, this is a great night of training. You guys now have resources and tools on how to train your own leaders, and we're going to keep piling more resources on as the week goes on. So keep going back to the Unstuck page. I love you guys so much. Thank you for wanting to train your leaders, for wanting to help other people, for being willing to pour into them, for seeing beyond star. You're here because you see beyond star, and that's huge. That's huge. So I know we can wrap up this boot camp together. We got 6 more days. We're in it to win it. Your homework is to read these 2 chapters we just covered tonight. Do the workbook. The workbook tailors all this to you. So you want that workbook before we jump into the heart training next week. If you don't have it yet, jump on Amazon and go snag it real quick. Get it on Prime so that you can do the workbook with us next week. If you're jumping in late, it's totally okay. It's all right. This is skills training, guys. So these are little Lego blocks. You can put them together in any order. You're not going to learn less if you learn how to listen after you learn how to train your leaders. So it doesn't matter when you jump in. I think you're going to want to go back and watch the other videos, and it's okay because we've collected them all on our website. So thank you for the honor of your time. I don't take it for granted. It means a lot to me. And thank you for being willing to invest in yourself. We got 6 more days left to get through. I know you guys can do this. I want to see you turn around and teach somebody else this material as soon as we're done, because that's where you're really going to feel the power of the OGV underneath you, magnifying and duplicating as your leaders go through this boot camp. So I love you. I'll see you tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel, and we're going to tackle the last 3 classes, and then heart training next week in boot camp will be over. God bless you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for day 15 of Unstuck Boot Camp.